We moved to Healesville about 2 years ago. We moved out here because we had the passion, I guess, to want to start a little thing, which is what I call Jimbo Lodge, which is Jim and Bert, which is me and my dad. And
I don't come into it.
No, she just does all the hard work. And yeah, we started breeding greyhounds up here, racing greyhounds. We wanted a little bit of land as well, so we could have, the straight track and also, when we do rear, have puppy runs and empty outs and things like that. And it's taken about 2 years, but we're slowly getting there. My father, he had an involvement in greyhound racing, and that obviously had me interested from a pretty young age. I was around about 5 when I first got introduced to greyhounds and pretty much fell in love with them straight away. And see our puppy grow up from a young age, of course, right through to a race stage. And then when he was lucky enough to race, he won 3 races, and I still remember the day when I actually was able to jump the fence and get a photo with him after the race at Healesville, and that was when I was probably around 10 years of age. And from that day on, I was like, I really want to be involved in greyhound racing, and I'd love to be an owner trainer one day.
I'd never had anything to do with the greyhounds, but I've always had animals, and that's the thing. I think it just came natural to me, and I've loved it ever since.
Race calling, it probably hit me when I was about 11 or 12 actually. I had a thoroughbred racing game on the PlayStation 1, so it's a long time ago. And it was called Gallop Racer, and quite simply, you are the jockey, you're the trainer, you're everything. And that probably drove my passion, I guess, to wanting to prepare animals to race and to get the best out of them. And the race calling as well started from there, because as I was preparing them to race, once the race would happen, I was actually finding myself commentating the race as they'd go. So it was, midnight some nights, I'd be sitting there around the corner, here they come, and that's where the passion, I suppose, started for race calling.
Here's Crazy Expert, went to accomplish, took the lead in the Oaks, and away goes Crazy Expert, you beauty!
I started off calling when I was 15 at the Cranbourne Greyhounds, and around the same point I got work at Healesville calling the picnic greyhounds. I initially did one race a meeting, and that was for a can of Coke. They gave me the gig, I think probably when I was about 15 or 16, and from there it went to calling my first meeting at Cranbourne when I was 18 years old.
Electra Fame and Jemana Shelby, Wheel and Deal now went up to Austie Sprite, who kicked late, and Austie Sprite got in a half-length Wheel and Deal.
So when we first moved out to Healesville to this property, people asked us if it was a greyhound property to start off with, and it wasn't. And since then, we put in a 100-metre straight track, which are side-by-side, 2 of them, so they can race or work competitively. And then, we've built the empty out yards, we've put in race kennels and puppy runs as well. We only have 1 litter a year, but when we do, it's pretty much all set up, ready to go, so the puppies can stay here to 3 or 4 months before being sent off to other rearers.
We have a litter of puppies due in the next few days, so that should be good. It's quite exciting, but it's also a little bit stressful.
You're the midwife, aren't you?
Yes, so it's going to be a few long days, but no, definitely.
It's actually, I reckon it's become my passion of late. I just love having little puppies around, and then seeing little puppies develop into big race dogs and then do well. It's a long journey, but having them from a little baby, I think probably connects you more, I suppose, to wanting to see them do really well, even if you don't own them anymore. Like our first litter, we had Billy's Bait, Gotham Queen, and they've developed into really good dogs. And to see them go well from, for the owners and the new trainers, it's really good.
But the leader, Gotham Queen, still about 2 in front to Scorching Fella. Gotham Queen clear, and she goes all of the way.
I obviously love the preparation of getting them to the racetrack and watching them race, but putting them on a couch and with the family is the biggest goal. And we rehome all our dogs, and I always try and check in and see how they're going and get photos from people and find out how they are, and it's definitely a process, but it's a good one.
Healesville's a very interesting, unique track, I guess, being the only straight track in Victoria. It's really safe racing. They don't bump as much as probably what they do on a circle.
Yeah, we use it for trialling and that sort of thing. It's a good way to get a bit of fitness into them and give them a run throughout the week.
It's a beautiful place, lovely location, good people.
It's a lovely family environment, which I think is what I like best, and obviously got a beautiful view behind the track, so it's probably what makes it a bit different.
I don't know if it's possible to love them too much, but I probably do.
Just as animals, they're just beautiful.
I love the greyhounds as much as I love the racing itself, and I guess I feel proud for when they go well. And when you see these greyhounds that just love to race, you know, and seeing them do well and they trot back after their win and they look like they've won a Melbourne Cup and they've won a $600 race at Hillsville, but no, it's definitely my life. Getting up every day knowing you love what you do is pretty special.